It'll be like the Great Depression with people lining up, you look at some of the photographs of men standing around there in their suits with their hats on, and they're, lined up for miles, trying to get jobs, and these people today aren't going to be as patient. They're not going to be as law-abiding as it was back in the 20s and the 30s. It's going to be real chaos. That could be worldwide.
That was going to be one of my questions for you. It's been reported that troops are being brought home for deployment here in the United States. Army Times, Democracy Now, which I doubt is a mere coincidence. Do you see this situation deteriorating and the people perhaps taking to the streets?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I think that you have two kinds of taking to the street. One is political protest. Well, certainly, I think you're going to have more people become more aware, and they're going to be ready to demonstrate, politically. And those can get out of hand. That happens. But what I hear is just absolute anarchy. Where it's not people are in the streets, but they're not out there to protest. They're out there to get food and cars and gas and whatever they think that they have to have, they're going to take. That's the scariest thing.
Well, one major difference, of course, between the Great Depression and now also is during the Great Depression, many people had just come off of the farms, the homesteads. They were able to survive well on their own. They could go back to the farm, hunt, fish, chop wood. That of course, that age is gone. I mean, we're completely dependent on an enormous system now.
Well, absolutely. I mean, how many people, eat at fast food restaurants? If you drive down the street and your McDonald's and your Kentucky Fried Chickens are all closed up because they've gone out of business, and you have a few grocery stores, people don't even know how to cook anymore. It's a mess because all these food packaging companies, and if all of these start failing, which they can fail, even just if nothing else because they can't get the money to stay in business, to borrow the money to bridge over, it can get real messy real fast, and we don't have the backup food, even in the federal food lockers. We don't have the cheese left over anymore, or the milk, or the other products that the government has bought up, the commodities. Who knows what's going to happen? It really is a scary thing. What's funny is I was thinking about when you guys were going to be calling, and I was remembering something I wrote, and this was going back almost 20 years ago. I was writing a political philosophy, and I must have tweaked it at some point, but I'm talking about were we to continue living in fear of missiles from the USSR, is there a more real danger that someday some small dispute ignites a financial war, or something like that, or some other tiny economic turmoil twists the stocks, bonds, currency, and real estate markets into a chaotic contractual tailspin? And for whatever reason, in a single day, paper and electronic money simply cease to have economic relevance, and virtually all legal wealth is eliminated. Only gold and other metals will have any real value on silicon, plastic, and credit ratings. There's no gasoline for sale, no cabs to call, and my spare change will be worth more than worth former millions, and my bicycle will get me further than your BMWs. So forth and so on. If everyone's looking for work, nobody will be hiring. If everything worth stealing is stolen, you'll find nothing to eat, no matter the caliber of your gun or the number of your last few bullets. Hell, I wrote that 20 years ago. And if I look around me now, that's the kind of stuff that really scares the heck out of me.
Yes, I agree with you on that. And I wanted to ask you, of course, we're seeing money being printed out of thin air. We've been off the gold standard since 1971. How important do you think it is to return to sound currency backed by silver and gold?
Well, I think that's ultimately going to be what we're going to have to go to. Years ago, I had a real smart young guy. I taught him actually in college, and then he went on to law school and clerked for me while he was going through law school. And his name's Dan Manigan. And Dan one day said, what we ought to have is we ought to keep the greenbacks, but we ought to go to a gold dollar. you have a secondary currency that is backed by gold. And I've never forgotten that, and recently I've been thinking that we do have to go to some sort of a solid currency. We can't just keep cranking out the paper, and especially right now, everything I'm reading, you got this this $1 trillion bailout almost, and then Bernanke is also getting ready to buy up commercial paper, and they're already dumping all this money in the money markets, and they gave AIG another $37 billion or whatever it is. Well, where the hell is all this money going to come from? Congress upped the national debt, with this last bailout, but when we get beyond that, then the Federal Reserve can't even trade their paperback money that they're printing for bonds that they can use as collateral. So then they just crank up, then it just becomes paper. And that is again, the scariest thing in the world is that we're just going to go into hyperinflation now, where you got to get a wheelbarrow full of money to go buy a loaf of bread.
Well, I want to thank you for joining us today, Mr. Cox. I want to commend you for the good work that you're doing. We'd like to have you back on again. And in closing, is there anything that you would like to add? Your website's thevoters.org. And again, I want to thank you for joining us today on The Real News.
Well, the William Cox is listening down in North Carolina. That's where my family came out of. We were from Cane Creek down on Wilmington. Way back, right after the Revolution. My people were the Quakers that fought. Got kicked out of the church.
Well, I want to thank you for joining us, and we'd like to stay in contact with you, sir. And again, hats off to the good work you're doing.
Thanks a lot. I'm here anytime you want to talk.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
That was William Cox with thevoters.org. We are going to run to the end without commercials since we had a little technical difficulty in the beginning. Now, we would like to play a clip that was from the Glenn Beck show this week. It's short, and after that we're going to go to the phones. I want you to listen closely to what this man is saying. This is what we've been saying all along since March 1st. When we say it, we get laughed at. When Glenn Beck and other people say it, seems to give it some validity. So, whenever you're ready, Tal, we'll play it. Glenn Beck this week on the Glenn Beck show.
You and I grew up in is gone. And maybe it's gone forever if we don't wake up now. McCain said last night, was anybody stunned by, I want to buy up all the bad mortgages so there will be no foreclosures. As outrageous as that was, bad news for you, gang, that's already in the bailout bill. Believe it or not, Paulson could do that. He doesn't have to even ask you anymore. There is a global meltdown coming. It is a global depression. And one world currency and one world financial system is the end game. China said last week they want one global currency. France said yesterday or the day before that they want one world order, a new world order at the end of this event. 2 nights ago, the government used $900 billion of your money to give loans to businesses and guarantee those loans. Did they even ask you? That's your money. Last night, for the first time, the interest rate was cut globally.
All right, did you hear that? A one world system of finance, a new world order. This is exactly what they're trying to pull off here, the illusion of chaos, through which they can come down with new legislation advancing their ultimate goals.
China calling for a one world currency, and that was reported by Glenn Beck. Now listen, we want to go to the phones. Call us, 704-873-1400. It's your turn to chime in. We're in global meltdown. We're in chaos. We want to hear what the people have to say. Our Davie County number is 336-499-0681. We want to hear from you, the listeners. You can agree, you can disagree. It's a forum for the public to get involved during desperate times like this. Also, we'd like to say we're going to be at Walmart in Mooresville today, 2 p.m. If you would like to join us, we're going to be giving out copies of the Bill of Rights, DVDs, this and that. We'd like to meet any of the listeners. Again, the phone number is 704-873-1400. Next week, in studio, our guest is going to be Virginia Fox.